Colombia and the Peru War. There were several border conflicts between the Colombia and the Peru in the early part of the 20th century, and in 1922 their governments signed the Solomon-Lozano Treaty in an attempt to resolve them. As a part of this treaty, the border town of the Leticia and its surrounding areas was ceded from the Peru to Colombia, giving Colombia access to the Amazon River. On 1st September 1932, business leaders from the Peruvian rubber and the sugar industries who had lost land as a result organized an armed takeover of Leticia. At first, the Peruvian government did not recognize the military takeover, but the president of the Peru, Ruiz Sanchez Cerro, decided to resist a Colombian occupation. The Peruvian army occupied Leticia, leading to an army conflict between the two nations. After a month of the diplomatic negotiation, the government accepted mediation by the League of Nations, and their representatives presented their cases before the Council. A provisional peace agreements signed by both parties in May 1933 provided for the League to assume control of the disputed territory. While bilateral negotiation proceeding in May 1934, a final peace agreement was signed, resulting in the return of the Leticia to Colombia. A formal apology from the Peru for the 1932 invasion, demilitarization of the area around the Leticia, free navigation on the Amazon and the Potomac River, and the pledge of the non-aggression. SAR. SAR was a previous form from parts of the Persia and Peninsula placed under the League control by the Treaty of the Versailles. A plebiscite was to be held after 15 years of League rule to determine whether the province should belong to Germany or France. When the referendum was held in 1935, 90.3% of the voters supported becoming part of Germany, which was quickly approved by the League Council. Other conflicts. In addition to the territorial disputes, the League also tried to intervene in the other conflict between the within nations. Among its successors were in its fight against the international trade in opium and sexual slavery, and its work to alleviate the plight of the refugee, particularly in Turkey. In the period up to 1926, one of its innovations in this latter area was the 1922 introduction of the Nassen passport, which was the first internationally recognized identity card for the stateless refugees. Greece and Bulgaria. After an incident involving sentries on the Greek-Bulgaria border in October 1925, fighting began between the two countries. 3 days after the incident, Greek troops invaded Bulgaria. The Bulgarian government ordered its troops to make only token resistance and evacuated between then 10,000 and 15,000 people from the border region, trusting the League to settle the disputes. The League condemned the Greek invasion and the call for both Greek withdrawal and the compensation to Bulgaria. Liberia. Following the acquisition of the forced labor on the large American-owned Firestone rubber plantation and American acquisition of the slave trading, the Liberian government asked the League to launch an investigation. The resulting commission was jointly appointed by the League, the United States, and the Liberia in 1930. A League report confirmed the presence of slavery and the forced labor. The report implicated many government officials in the selling of the contract labor, and they recommend that they be repressed by the European or the Americans, which guaranteed anger within the Liberia and led to the resignation of President Charles D.B. King and his vice president. The Liberian government outlawed forced labor and slavery and asked for American help in the social reforms. Mukden incident. Japan attacks China. Under the Chinese delegate addressed the League of Nations concerning the Manchurian crisis 1932. The Mukden incident, also known as the Manchurian incident, was a decisive setback that weakened the League because its major members refused to tackle Japanese aggression. Japan itself withdrew. Under the agreed terms of the 21 demand with China, the Japanese government had the right to station its troops in the area around the South Manchurian Railway, a major trade route between the two countries. In the Chinese region of the Manchuria in September 1931, a section of the railway was lightly deemed by the Japanese Kuomintang army as a pretext for an invasion of the Manchuria. The Japanese army claimed that the Chinese soldiers had sabotaged the railways and they apparently retaliated the occupation all of Manchuria. They renamed the area Manchukuo, and 9 March 1932 set up a puppet government with the PU, the former Empire of China, as its executive head. This new entity was recognized only by the governments of Italy, Spain, and Nazi Germany. The rest of the world still considered Manchuria legally part of the China. The League of Nations sent observer in the Lighten report appeared a year later. It declared Japan to be aggressor and demanded Manchuria to be returned to China. The report passed 42-1 in the assembly in 1933, but instead of removing its troops from China, Japan withdrew from the league. In the end of the, as British historian Charles Mount argued, collectively security was dead. The league and the idea of the collective security of the rule of the law were defeated partially because of the indifference and the sympathy with the aggressor, but partially because the league power were unprepared, preoccupied with the other matter, and too slow to perceive the scale of Japanese ambition. Chaco War. The league failed to prevent 1932 war between the Bolivia and the Paraguay over the arid Gran Chaco region. Although the region was sparsely populated, it contained the Paraguay River, which would have given either landlocked country access to the Atlantic Ocean, and there was also speculation later proved incorrect that the Chaco would be a rich source of petroleum. Border skirmishes throughout the late 1920s culminated in all-out war in 1932 when the Bolivian army attacked the Paraguayans at Fort Charles and Antonio Lopez at the Lake Pantina. To Paraguay appealed to the League of Nations, but the League did not take action when the Pan-American Conference offered to mediate. Instead, the war was a disaster for both the sides, causing 57,000 casualties for Bolivia, whose population was around 3 million, and 36,000 dead for Paraguay, whose population approximately 1 million. It also brought both countries to the brink of economic disaster. By the time and ceasefire was negotiated on 12 June 1935, Paraguay had seized control of most of the region, as was later recognized by the 1938 truce.